Hello there. Today we will go through the poem The Bangle Sellers, written by Sarojini Naidu. In this poem we'll see how womanhood is being celebrated. See, who are the bangle sellers? The bangle sellers are the one who sells bangles. And who are the buyers? Of course, the women or the girls. So a bangle seller carries different types of bangles and colorful bangles. Now the choice made by the woman, the choice made by the customers, the women or the girls, it will depict the age in which they belong to, or the stage of life in which the woman or the girl belongs to. We'll come to that. Let's start. This is one of the 5 poems that you have for your ICSE curriculum in class 9, and because it's written by Sarojini Naidu, it's quite obvious that you will find an Indian setting in it. Let's start. Bangle sellers are we who bear our shining loads to the temple fair. So in the very first line, the poetess introduces us to the bangle sellers. Now the bangle sellers are we. The moment she uses the word we, she brings into notice a class essence. All the bangle sellers, they have a common purpose, and the purpose is to sell bangles. So there is a singularity in it. So she uses the word we. What are they carrying? Who bear? What are they carrying? They are carrying bangles. So they are carrying our shining loads. And where are they carrying them? They are carrying them to the temple fair. It's a very typical setting, Indian setting, as I said. For those of you who have been to the countryside, might have come across the fairs which happens around a temple, happens around a religious place, or which takes place during a religious ceremony. And see, the bangles which they are carrying is depicted as shining loads. The moment the poetess uses the word load, it gives you the idea of the physical labor which is involved, in carrying the bangles and displaying them, selling them. But the bangle sellers also bears some degree of pride in the job, in the work that they do, and therefore the use of the word shining. Now, who will buy these delicate, bright, rainbow tinted circles of light? Now this question is both rhetorical as well as literal. Literal in the sense, in order to get the attention of the potential buyers, the bangle sellers, they have to shout out loud. So they are asking that who will buy this delicate, bright, rainbow tinted circles of light. Now it's rhetorical. Why? The moment we come across this phrase, rainbow tinted circles of light, that will give us a visual imagery of the different colors, of the diversity of the colors, colors of the bangles which the bangle seller is carrying. Not only that, as I said, the diversity of the women who will buy them. The young will buy, the brides, the ones who are in their adulthood, they will buy, the one who are in their mid age, they will buy. Lustrous tokens of radiant lives for happy daughters and happy lives. Okay, this is an example of metaphor, the circle of light. The bangles looks like the circle of light, and rainbow, as I said, they are multicolored. Lustrous tokens of radiant lives. Radiant lives is vibrant lives. Happy lives, they are the symbols of happy lives. Lustrous tokens of happy lives, radiant lives for happy daughters and happy wives. The one who are buying the bangles, the consumers, they are happy, they love to wear bangles. Now the happiness is also shared by the happy daughters and happy wives of the bangle sellers also, because the bangle seller, by selling the bangles, he is able to, or they are able to meet the financial need of their family. So not only the daughters and the wives who are buying the bangles are happy, but also the daughters and wives of the bangle sellers, they are also happy. Then the next stanza, some are meet for a maiden's rest, silver and blue as the mountain mist. So in this stanza, the poetess will speak about the girls who are in their teenage, young girls. So some the uses of the word maiden thus ratifies it. Some are meet. Meet means appropriate, perfect. Some bangles, see, the bangle sellers are continuing to display and shout out and giving any seller, a salesman who sells his product must give some description of the product, and the usage of the product. So the bangle seller is continuing to give the description of the bangles which he is carrying. So some are perfect for the maiden's wrist, some are perfect for a young girl's wrist. And what are the colors? Silver and blue. like or as the mountain mist. Now you will find the similes. Similes are when the comparisons have words like as, like. You will find ample. I will not be marking them. Ample here. Silver. The color of bangles which are chosen by the young girls are silver and blue as the mountain mist. The color of the mountain mist. The color of mist is silver, and the reflection of the sky brings the color blue. Some are flushed like, some bangles flushed like the buds that dream on the tranquil brow of the woodland stream. Now, some are like the buds that dream. You know, the young girl, a young girl has countless dream within herself. The dream of, you know, one day she'll get married, the dream of her marriage life, the dream of her career. In those days, a girl could hardly think of her career. Anyway, so a teenage girl harbors various dreams within herself. So some are flushed like the buds that dream on the tranquil brow of the woodland stream. Stream is a small river. Woodland means forest. Brow means a highland beside the river, maybe the bank of the river. Tranquil means peace, calm, repose. You know, so some bangles, they flush like the buds that dream. The buds that get sprouted, the buds that are found on the, you know, beside the river, on the banks, on the silent, calm, peaceful, placid banks of the rivers that flows, you know, through a forest. Woodland means forest. And some are aglow. Aglow means to glow with radiance. Aglow with the bloom that cleaves to the limpid glory of the newborn leaves. Okay, cleaves means to get separated. Here, cleaves means to emit. Aglow, as I said, it's to glow. Bloom is something that sprouts out, you know, and limpid. Limpid means clear, crystal clear. Newborn leaves. So, as I said, this stanza is dedicated for the young girl. They are like the newborn leaves. Then the use of the word bloom, use of the word buds. These are the words which is, you know, which depict youth. It depicts purity, innocence. So the emotions of a young girl is depicted here. The emotions of a young girl is clear, is crystal clear. Okay, and some like the bloom. The uses of the word bloom. Bloom means to sprout out, like to sprout. So they emit a spirit. The emotions of the young girls emits a spirit which is clear, although they have lots of dream within themselves. So what are the colors we can see here? The colors is silver, the color is blue, then the color is green. Okay, the color that of a newborn leaf. Fine. Then some are, the third paragraph, some are like the fields of sunlit corn, meet for a bride on her bridal morn. Some like the flame of her marriage fire, or rich with the hue of the heart's desire, tinkling, luminous, tender and clear, like her bridal laughter and bridal tear. This stanza is dedicated for the woman who is into her adulthood, who is about to get married, a bride to be. So think of the image. The image is that of a field of sunlit corn, a cornfield which is getting bathed, which is getting basked under the sunlight. What is the color? The color is yellow. Not only that, sunlit corn. Corn is a crop, so corn will give you the image of abundance, and corn will also give you the image of fertility. A girl who is about to get married will sooner or later be giving birth to a child. So a bride is also an embodiment of fertility, an embodiment of the continuity of life. So these are meet, as I said, meet means appropriate, perfect. Some bangles are perfect for the bride to be worn on her bridal morn. Morn means morning. Again, the word morning suggests a new day, a new chapter. A girl in her teenage, not in a teenage, a girl who is about to get married will be starting a new chapter in her life. Some like the flame of her marriage fire, or rich with the hue of the heart's desire. Okay, so what is the color of the heart? The color of the heart is red. Sunlit corn yellow. The color of the heart is, the heart's desire is red. What can a bride desire of? A bride can desire of leading a peaceful, or leading a perfect, or happy married life. So some like the flame. What is the color of the flame of the fire? It's yellow again, and the flame is dynamic in nature. You know, it moves. A flame moves. Similarly, the emotions, as we have seen in the second stanza, the emotions of a teenage girl is clear, is brought out. Similarly, the emotions of the bride is also brought out here. What are the emotions? The emotions is very dynamic in nature. You know, she is happy, but she is also a bit under the sense of insecurity. If she doesn't lead a happy married life, then what happens? So she is happy as well as she is a bit concerned. It's dynamic. The emotions, any bride on her wedding day, many emotions runs through her head as well as through her hearts. So tinkling, luminous, tender and clear. The emotions are radiant, the emotions are soft, but the emotions are clear. Tinkling is a sound. This is an uses of we'll see the use of onomatopoeia here. Onomatopoeia is a figure of speech that a word will give you an auditory sensation. You know, an auditory sense. Tinkling, can you imagine a girl who is getting ready to get married wearing the bangles, and the bangles striking against each other will generate that tinkling sound. So the bangles are tinkling, luminous, soft. The emotions of bride is soft and clear, like her bridal laughter and bridal tear. So a girl who is about to get married is happy because she is going to start a new life of her own, and she is also sad. Why? Because of some obvious reason. Because she has to leave behind her family. She has to leave behind those people with whom she has grown up. Coming down to the last stanza. Some are purple, some are purple and the gold flecked grey, for she who has journeyed through the midway. Okay, this stanza is dedicated for the women who are in their mid-aged, who are who are playing their socially acceptable role. What is the socially acceptable role of a woman in those days, as well as it's relevant in today also? That being a good daughter, a good mother, a good housekeeper, a good wife. So this stanza is dedicated for the mid-aged woman, being a good mother, being a good housekeeper and being a good wife. Purple, here the color is purple and grey. Purple and grey are not that much of a vibrant color. These are colors that is symbolic of maturity, symbolic of age, coming of age, and the colors which represents wisdom. And gold, why gold? We'll come to that later. For she who has, it's very clearly mentioned here, there are bangles which are purple in color, which are grey in color, to be worn by the woman who has journeyed through life midway, who has completed 50% of her life, who are middle-aged, whose hands have cherished, whose love has blessed and cradled fair sons on her faithful breast, and serves her household in fruitful pride and worships the God at her husband's side. So, see, the word son and husband will vaguely give you a notion or an idea of the society which used to exist earlier, to some extent even now. It was, the society used to be dominated by patriarchy. Therefore, the uses of the word son and husband. A woman, in earlier times, a woman is always taught to be, I would say it's always taught to be obedient towards their brothers, towards their father, towards their husband. So a woman has to play different roles. A woman plays a role of a mother when she cradles her fair son, she brings up her son, she looks after the household, and she does it with utmost perfection. Thereby, she earns her right to worship the gods at her husband's side. Maybe in those days, women were not allowed to preside over a religious ceremony. But the woman who is faithful, who has played her role as a mother, as a wife and a housekeeper with utmost perfection, earns that right to sit beside her husband and worship the God. And a woman who has played this role to utmost perfection is a very respectable woman. A respectable woman is highly valued, and therefore usage of the word gold, because gold is a valuable metal. This brings us to the end of the poem. I am not going into the figure of speeches. There are ample examples of similes Then you see buds that dream. This is an example of personification. Then and is used repetitively. This is an example of polysyndeton. Then alliteration you will find quite often, it's there. Then metaphor also, few examples of metaphor if I quickly go through. Circles of light, it's an example of, it's a metaphor. Radiant life, it's also metaphor. There are plenty here. Quickly I can conclude. So let's see what the bangle seller has to offer us. Colors, silver and blue, silver, blue, then green. These are perfect for teenage girl, so a young girl, maiden girl. These are symbolical of say youth, purity, innocence. Then the colors like sunlit corn, so yellow. Then marriage fire, also yellow. Heart's desire, so red is the color of heart. These are the bangles to be worn by whom? To be worn by a bride, so an adult, a bride to be. It represents the desire to live a happy married life. Then this is also a color of abundance and fertility. As I said, a woman who is about to sooner or later she'll give birth to a son. She'll become mother. So abundance, fertility. And finally purple, gold and grey. Purple, gold and grey. Purple, gold, grey, to be worn by middle-aged women. Okay. They represent maturity, wisdom, and respect. That's it. Thank you.